We're now joined by journalist and writer Nirpal Dhaliwal, who doesn't see why he should give up his seat for a woman, along with comedian and broadcaster Noreen, who says letting a man help her does not contradict her feminism. So why wouldn't you give up your seat?
Firstly, like, if a woman's able-bodied, why should I? I mean, you know, guys pay for the train ticket as much as women do. They have a long day at work, they're knackered, and if she's physically able, why should I give up my seat for her? If she's pregnant, she's got a health problem, physical problem, yeah.
Is this a conclusion that you've come to over the years, Nirpal, or is this something that sort of your parents never sort of said to you? Because all of my, the way I treat people around me comes from how my parents expected me to grow up. And when we were on the trains as kids, we weren't even allowed to sit down because we had kids' tickets, for example, so an adult could sit down. But equally, my mum and dad would be very much, you know, you've got to be chivalrous, you've got to ask a lady if she'd like to sit down, or an older person as well. Equally, is that because it's never been a case, or have you just come to that conclusion more recently?
Well, there was a Twitter storm yesterday where a woman tweeted about some guy trying to help her with her luggage, getting it out of the compartment in the plane, and she regarded him as an oppressor. So, and guys are getting their heads bitten off, or certainly getting an earful just for helping, and so that's confusing for guys. So the urge to be nice is there.
And it's too confusing, so just don't bother.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
Noreen, have some women, some feminists, ruined it for everyone? Because by getting aggressive when someone offers their hand of help, by viewing it as a demeaning thing, which I know you don't, has put people off.
Well, I think there are certain women who may have that point of view. I mean, I consider myself a feminist, and I would never be offended if a man was chivalrous. For example, you know, if he decides to hold the door open for me or says, would you like, you know, help with your luggage, I'd say, yes, please. I mean, even if I haven't asked for it, I still wouldn't be offended, because I think the two can coexist, chivalry and feminism. Us women, we would do the same as well for men. If he wants to hold the door open, I'll happily hold the door open too. And I would never take offence if a guy sort of suggested and said, oh, would you like a hand with your luggage?
So this woman described it, she said in the tweet that Nirpal mentioned, she said it was a quickly calculated act of resistance.
I'm sorry, but I just don't think a lot of women like myself would behave in that manner. I think it's quite rude, actually, if a guy decides to help you with your luggage, for you to say, no, thank you,
So can you
I'm not
understand
interested.
Nirpal's position, then, where he said, there's no point in me putting myself in that situation where someone's going to be rude to me, I'll just not bother?
But then you can't tarnish all women with the same brush, and I think that's a bit of a cop-out for men being a bit lazy sometimes.
Are you just lazy then, Nirpal?
Yeah, but that's
There you go, he's admitted it.
But it's a one-way street, though. A woman's never given up her seat for me. Like, that's even when I've limped on, when I've had a football injury and I've been limping down the carriage. I've never had a woman open a door for me, pull out a chair for me, nothing, you know?
Whenever I go on a
tube or train... So you like guys
train,
opening doors and stuff,
I never expect a guy to give up a chair for me. Why should he? Unless a woman's pregnant, I think, or, like you said, with health issues. I would never expect that, but it's those small gestures, like if you go on a date and a guy holds...
Yeah, why can't we have small gestures too?
I mean, you could too. I mean, maybe you're not dating the right women.
Oh, there you go. That's a whole different question. Lots of people getting in touch. Carly says, when I was pregnant, I hardly ever got offered a seat on the train. Kenneth says, one can only offer to help, but refusal doesn't cause offence, but makes one think twice about offering again. Feminism can be extreme and it can be destructive. Paul says, let the luggage woman carry her own stuff. No one gives a monkeys. Any lady who needs assistance only needs to ask. Maybe that's the point.
I always have a big case that I carry around with me.
She does.
And I always feel a bit guilty when people ask for help, because I kind of think...
There's usually about 17 people covering around clearing up
well,
after you as well,
they're clearing up behind me, to be honest. But, you know, I think actually it's a nice gesture to do for anyone, isn't it? Make an offer today. Feel good about yourself.
Well, there's so much palaver about this now, you know.
OK.
I would help, but I'll probably have to ask them to sign a consent form.
Oh, fair enough.
We're going to have to leave that, Noreen, Nirpal. Thank you very much.